Good evening. Sorry for the delay. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. Since the last time we spoke, a lot of stuff has went down, and you hear a lot of so-called African American Black people chattering, chit-chatting on the line of what is happening, what's going on, and how do we deal with it. And as always, it seems like we're talking about things we don't understand what we're talking about. One of the things that we're noticing is in these dialogues between African American and Blacks, they're still confused about who they are and what they are to do. An example would be a couple of weeks ago, you were knee deep into these people, these pedophiles doing whatever they want to your children. Then all of a sudden, a war breaks out, and that's no longer talked about. Think about it, guys. Think about it. This is the trick they run on you every time. And it goes to show how much the masses' minds are in their hands. We'll never get it. And I'm just putting this out there because I just visited a friend who's in a situation that he may never recover from. Never recover from. And those of us who have their wits about them can see what's going on, can understand what's going on. We're still in this, I don't know if it's a twilight zone or nothing, but it's like we're still in this situation where we can't seem to transmit ideas to each other. We can't think. We can't have a conversation with each other. Because, and I don't know where this comes from, because it didn't used to be like this not too long ago. Or we could communicate with each other. The LGBTQ has taken over a considerable amount of the Black community. You don't tell me what I can be. I can be whatever I want to be. This is not going to work out well in the times coming up. Lady contacted me today and said she fears for her son's and daughter's life because they are in the military. And that's one way that the powers that be in the past were able to control the so-called Black community, the so-called African American community, was through the military. You do whatever the military wants to. You're fighting for your country. Thank you for your service. This is what we pass down to our children. This is what we give our children. And you see how the United States, the powers that be, the corporations, and so forth in America, you see what they think when it comes to African American and Black people. They said the Somalis up in Minnesota tricked you off for billions of dollars. How is that possible? Because the people that you select to represent you, to say that you're a part of this, have turned their back on you, went to their home bases, their home states, and brought their people back over here to replace you. I don't know how we don't see this. Many of you do. The masses, no. They think they're part of something that they're not a part of. Since we started here at African American, we've been giving you the real on everything. I ask every week if somebody has something to say to debunk what we've been giving you, and nobody comes up to the plate. Not only are we giving it to you, we're giving it to your children, because in 20, 30 years, who knows what's going to be happening. So we put the information out here straight, no chaser, so there won't, you can't be confused. You can't be confused about what's going on. Right now, they're telling you there's a war going on. You have people, basketball players, athletes who are overseas in these other countries are sending you footage of what's going on over there. Bombs are being dropped on them. Bombs are being dropped. But all of this noise is to make you forget what these demons are doing to these children. We don't seem to get it. We still think that these people are our parents. Isn't that what's going on? Isn't that what's going on? And my question is, and what I'm tripping off of is how we don't see it. Now, uh, the indigenous people, a lot of them are waking up to it that they are. There's people who 10, 15 years ago, you tell them African Americans ain't Africans, they cuss you out. Well, they still do. They cuss you out. Now, that's not happening so much. People are starting to see it takes them, it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute to see what's going on. And a lot of us still won't see it. We started off with this. We started off with this, letting you know that it's impossible. And if you just think about it, you would be able to see it. It's impossible for the things that they tell you. It's impossible for them to be real. Totally impossible. We don't get it. We don't get it. We told you that it's impossible for slave. I mean, if you just put the picture in your mind, you would see it. If you thought about it, you would see it. Everything you're told is a lie. Since you don't believe it, and not saying anybody in particular right here on this live today, but if you believe it, your kids are more likely to follow you. It doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time, if you give your children a story, they'll take that on for the rest of their lives. The story you're giving your children today won't take them through the rest of their lives. It's there to confuse you and tell you anything that's coming across your social media now, anything that's coming across the radio now, and it's been like this for quite a long time. Anything that's coming across the TV now is a lie. Maybe it's going to take a little longer, even though time is not in effect here. Shouldn't we see what's happening right in front of our faces? Why are we always tricked? Always tricked. You think the people that's been running this world for the past 100 years have you in mind about anything other than taking your essence? That's what they do. Steal your essence. Don't you see that? Do we see it? David said, cancel the bullshit. Cancel the bullshit. You're seeing things going on in the world around you that these people are falling. All that's needed is that we stand up. Stand up. They're totally in the wrong. The world knows it. The so-called African American wants to be loved so much that they're going on everything he says. Even their own people are going off on him. You seen what they did to the cat, the Marine, who said, hey, we don't want to fight these wars for Israel. This is the person that everybody always tells, thank you for your service. They broke his arm. Do you get it now? Do you get it now? No, do we get it? Do we get it now? Don't send your children to fight in these wars. Because if you do, you are saying that you don't mind these people who trade children, traffic children. If you go fight for them, you are saying that you don't mind what's going on, because most people have forgot about it already. If you're listening to what so-called African Americans are saying and doing on social media, you have to be alarmed. People don't know. They're doing something that Black people have said for a long time. I'm gonna fake it till I make it. That doesn't work. You're putting yourself in a position that your children are going to find hard to get out of. And you may not be around to tell them different, right? Right? And I'm saying this because there's, and this is what I've been getting calls on from different people around the country. People are coming up missing all over the place. Nobody's saying anything. You don't hear about it on the news. You don't hear what's happening with all these children coming up missing. Why isn't it talked about? Why isn't it being anything being done? Why are we still watching basketball games? Why are we still watching football and baseball games? Isn't anything more important? Marvin Gaye told you to save the babies. You ain't doing that, didn't he? Why is it talked about to save the babies? Why? Because the baby may be you again. So you know, we don't even understand that. What you call the African American, what you call black people, they don't even understand life, how life works, which is why other nations can come over here and replace you, don't they? See, what we do stuff, how we act, when it comes back and smacks us in the face, we want to pretend like that's not happening. It is. Spring is here. But I want you to pay attention to everything that went on this past winter. Because as we say, what goes around comes around. Are you ready for what's going to come around? Are you ready for the seeds that was planted in the winter? Are you ready for the seeds that you planted in the winter? Not literal seeds, but spiritual seeds, things that you're going to be doing to end this demonic regime that we're in. Now, you see that they don't care about their own children. What about you? What do you think is thought about you? You still believe. You still believe. What do you think it's going to take? And this isn't to scare anybody or nothing like that. You are here for a reason. You are here on this planet for a reason. You have the sister Lisa Cypress. What she's doing. She's on here all the time. What is she doing? That's not being done for her. That's being done for me, you, our children, our parents, all that. Gets very little support. Why? How come this sister doesn't get any support? Because we still believe what they tell us. So I talk to the young. I ask them straight up. You go listen to them. You want to get a shock of your life? Go listen to the people talk on TikTok. You'd be embarrassed. You would be embarrassed. That LGBT community, really? What did Francis Cress Welsing tell you? When things in life start to get like you see it now, everybody, what will the men do? The men will try to become women. Isn't that what you're seeing? Isn't that what you're seeing? When white degeneracy rears its head, the black male will look to become a girl. Is that true? But let's be honest about it. No, we want to lie. Is that true? What are happening to your women? They want to become guys. This isn't a joke, y'all. This is you're watching this happen. Aren't the women becoming more masculine? Aren't the men becoming more feminine? You don't think that's going to pose a problem later? You ain't seen nothing yet. And we think we can just keep talking and yapping about nothing. This is what's going on. This is what your children are see going on. So people say, well, what do you mean we still don't believe? We don't believe. You don't believe in yourselves. That's what I mean. This is not talking to people here on the what we're talking about tonight. This is the majority of people. You know, people who laugh when shit ain't funny. People who don't want to talk about. I gave a young lady a list. She's a Christian and always ask me, when are you gonna come to my church and visit? Ma'am, you're worshiping the devil. She said, oh no, you So I gave her all the places in the Bible where the Bible says kill the children, burn their pregnant mother. This is in the Bible. Gave her the verses and stuff. This woman is 60 years old. So gave it to her. And you know what she said? And this is why I feel sorry for the kids. Well, I just don't read uh what do you a verse? I read the whole section. When it tells you to burn your children in the womb, why do you need to read the whole section for that? Everything that Bible says does, the Negro will scratch your eyeballs out to make sure he can do it. I mean, if you just simply read read the Bible, you it's right there in your face. Set them on fire. Smite them all dead. And it cracks me up because this is right there in the Bible. But you know, if you look this up, get a person's Bible. You know how people mark through the Bible and color their Bible with the yellow markers, the pink markers, the blue markers. You'll see none of these passages are highlighted. Abandon them, poison them. This is the Bible's how it tells you to kill the children. Genesis 38:24. If you just want to read one, burn their pregnant mothers. This is in the Bible. This is in the Bible. Genesis 6:7. Drown them. And this is the hilarious one. Have bears maul them. I didn't know they were bears in the Middle East. Numbers 31:16. Just kill them any way you can. Dice them up with swords. Gave a sister and told her to read them and gave her the list. Told him to read them and explain that to your children. Haven't heard from her since. This was a couple of weeks ago. So if these how the parents is this if this is what the parents are teaching the children, what you think gonna go on with their grandchildren? Arrogant, arrogant, don't want to hear nothing. And that's the main problem I would suggest you guys pay attention to in the communication phase of things is listening. Because that's something that African Americans don't do. That's part of the communication process. You listen to what's being said, then you retort. Not with a 15-minute emotional outburst. Retort to what you're saying so you can learn some more. That's how you learn. Once a woman asked me, how did all these people come over here? And I'm like, because it was a multi-layered attack. It wasn't that just England came over, Spain, France. I mean, it's right in front of your face, but we don't listen to it. We take everybody, we'll take everybody on. Now it's happening again. But now you have other nations in on it too, because they want to come live the American dream. How is the American dream going? And you still believe. If you look at the word believe, so remember, when these people came over, they weren't speaking like they speak now. Remember, it's called American English. People in England don't speak how we speak here. People in England didn't spell how you spelled here because you taught them, dude, a S is not a F. If you look at when they came over here and started writing, the S was a F. They know how to spell. Guess who taught them? You did. And then I play with your head so much that you can't even do that now. You can't even do that now. This is going to be a blazing summer coming up. blazing. Pay attention to it. Watch the food. There's enough information going out about the food already. I know we're used to going to the stores and eating, but come on, y'all. There's too much information out there. And you must pass this information on to your children. And when I say children, I'm talking about 20 and under. Because what's been given to them in the past 50 years is not going to help nobody with nothing. You see the food is you damn near can't eat anything. And I know you see it. I know you see it. The food is bad. The water's bad. The information's out there. Make sure you give it to your children to help out. And just saying give it to your children, and not saying that I don't care about you, but you must keep the bloodline pumping. You must keep the bloodline flowing. That's why you're pushed towards to being LGBT. Why? So they can decimate the population. One way you kill the population is you don't have children. You would think we would get that. Many of us don't. I can do what I want to do. You don't tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy, nigga. Ask yourself, how do we get in this position? Seriously. How do we get in this position? Spring is here. Spring is here. Very important time. This is your new year. You're seeing the weather starting to change. This is a good time, and this is one of the times that they attack always, because whose birthday is Hitler's birthday, or one of them demons' birthday is around this time, and they come up and do things. We better know what's going on. Listen. Find out people who are talking sense instead of the nonsense. The sisters are coming out telling you now what's going on with these sororities and fraternities. Copper Indio know. Copper Indio know. This is when a whole bunch of their shenanigans start. Are we going to be the butt of jokes again? Because it seems all we like to do is laugh and giggle and tee-hee. Just saying, there's some things we have to be aware of. And the information is being given. Well, it's been given for the past, 40 years? African Americans and blacks not too good on taking on information. Hate the truth. Hate the truth. And I would suggest that you look at what's going on in the world and take heed to it. Because we're going to be pushed into positions that none of us want to be in. And the game is over when you stand up. You guys have a good night. Peace.